الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراط المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره العظيم. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وأزواجه أمهات المؤمنين وذرياته وأهل البيت كما صليت على إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم إني أسألك من كل خير أسألك من محمد النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وأعوذ بك من كل شر استعاذك من محمد النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ونبيك ورسولك النبي الأمي رضي الله عن أصحاب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. يا همة الشيخ احضرينا بهذا المحضر ولتأتي بنظرة تأتينا بظفر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
عليكم السلام وبركاته.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Jazakumullah khair. Thank you for attending. May Allah reward you all for attending. Alhamdulillah, this is I think our 4th week in a row doing these lessons. Alhamdulillah, we have our esteemed teacher, Shaykh Ameen Abdul Awul, going over lessons on Maliki Fiqh and general lessons necessary for us Muslims in this part of the world. I give pretty much the same introduction every week, so I'll keep it short. But Shaykh Ameen has been teaching the madhab for more than 50 years now. Was a student of Dr. Suleiman Dunya, the luminary from Al-Azhar University, and he studied with him lessons from the Shar as-Saghir. So you can hear my little guys in the phone back here, so I'm going to mute my phone. But I want to encourage everybody as you're listening to the lesson, be attentive, inshallah. But also if you have questions, please type them down in the chat. Please type them down in the chat. And at the end of the class, we're going to ask Shaykh Ameen as many of the questions as we're able to get to, inshallah ta'ala. So once again, if you have questions, type them in the chat and we'll ask them at the very end. You know, if you have any issues with that, you could also, you know, raise your hand or do something to get our attention. Raise your hand on the app. There's a button you can press that says raise your hand, and we can, you know, open up unmute you if that's what's necessary. But we prefer is if you just type your questions in the chat. So I'm going to get off now, and I'm going to hand it over to my teacher, Shaykh Ameen, and I encourage you all to listen attentively and to ask questions if you have it, inshallah. Bismillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وصلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وتابعين لهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. اللهم صل على محمد النبي الأمي وأزواجه أمهات المؤمنين وذرياته وآل بيت كما صليت على إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد وصلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. أنا بدر. This is you know that voice that you're hearing, the little person? That's my favorite person in the world. We have from his birth, we have a bond. I can't overemphasize the necessary my need to be able to see him and listen and hear his voice and things like that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created love for me, love for him in my heart. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam once was sleeping near the fountain in Mecca, and the hadith said that 2 angels approached, and one of them said, the eyes are closed, but he's not asleep. Meaning that he was still aware. And the traditions say that the angel opened up his chest took out his heart and washed his heart in Zamzam water. And after washing his heart in Zamzam water, they returned his heart to his chest. And that once they returned his heart to his chest, from then until the end of his life, he had good feeling, patience, and compassion for old people. And he had love for young people, for children. And the traditions say that he has such love for the children. He's the prophet and messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when he was in the midst of the children, that they used to climb on his back, play games with him. And he was so happy that this was one of his happiest times. So I'm saying that to tell the Muslims, especially the brothers, sometimes, you know, we are too staunch. Our emotions, we have to relax ourselves emotionally sometimes and allow, you know, to be a loving person to other people, especially to the people who need our help to be able to be safe and sound, both physically, spiritually, and mentally. It's a part of our duty as the men of Islam to make people feel safe with us and to have a nice, calm demeanor. We don't have to always have the hard face. It's okay to smile. It's okay to be kind to people. Doesn't diminish you in any kind of way. As a matter of fact, it's closer to the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Sahabi say that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned the neighbors so much. He mentioned the neighbors so much that they thought the neighbors were going to be able to inherit from them. This is necessary for us to understand. We are the representatives of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam now, in this world now, in our time. The Muslims are the representatives of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What goes with that is trying to practice his sunnah in the eyes of the people. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was not an angry person. He was not a person who hurt people's feelings. So many times, a lot of times we are doing the opposite of the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, thinking that we are correct. This is a big problem for us. You see, the people don't read Quran. The people don't read books of hadith. You know, the people hardly even get to talk to Muslims because the representatives from different countries, they don't intermingle with the people too much. They only stay basically with their own people. So people don't even get a good view of what a Muslim is like, except through us, through their neighbors, through the people they come in contact with that are Muslim. So we should always be representatives of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and try to adopt his habits. His habits are what the people are walking around saying, Sunnah. Sunnah is not something from the book. Sunnah was his life. It was his life. And this is what we are supposed to try to emulate. The scholars are supposed to be the best representative of emulating the life of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For so many years, sitting with Dr. Suleiman Dunya, I, in fact, observed him. I observed him, and I learned from him how to practice this sunnah visually in front of the people. I didn't realize until later how much I had learned just from sitting and walking and talking with him and being with him, that when you see these so-called imams of today, they're all grumpy and angry. Many times the people they're afraid to talk to them, to ask them something. This is not a good representation of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was a loving person. He was a loving person. He loved us better than we love ourselves. And in turn, we should love him better than we love ourselves. One of the ways to represent that is to try to do the things. If he was standing, once my teacher said to me, if Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was standing looking at you, would you be doing bad things? I said, no, absolutely not. He said, well, you have to feel in your life as you go through your day that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is walking with me. That the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he knows what I'm doing. And even more than that, as we all know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's watching us. So everyone's trying to figure out, especially here. I don't know about all over the world, every place else, in neighborhoods and things of that nature, but here in New York City, especially among the indigenous people, they're trying to figure out what is the problem. Why can't we do this or that? The main reason is because of the way we think. If we don't change our thinking, we won't be able to change our habits and what our destination is. If we're trying to reach a place where we want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to love us, we have to change some things in our mind. It's not enough to just learn lessons from Fiqh. One of the main things is we need to love each other. Assalamu alaikum, Adama. You downstairs? Oh, Shaykh, I'm teaching a class. I'm online teaching the class. Okay, Sharon's gonna come. Inshallah. Thank you. Wait, Adama, I gotta give her money. Hold on. You gonna Adama? You can't find a parking space? Assalamu alaikum. My brothers and sisters, I'm so sorry, but I'm waiting for Adama to come, and I'm going to turn my phone off now. I'm waiting for Adama to come and bring me something I need, and I have to give him some money. So, inshallah, if you could just hold on for a minute. Rasul, are you on? Isaac?
I'm on. Yes, sir. Come on.
Okay, just give me 5 minutes, 2 minutes to give some. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being patient. Okay, so I consider you as the people of paradise. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said that we are the best people on the earth, meaning the believers, the best people on the earth, He called us. And then he answers his statement by saying, because we enjoin what is right and forbid what is evil. So, you know, I'm hoping that everybody's having a nice Ramadan, alhamdulillah, and that we're getting through this problem with the virus and like whatever. But these things, they're only the trials of life that enable us to prove who we say we are. See? So inshallah, if we keep working hard, we will be the people of paradise. We have a roadmap. The roadmap is our Quran and the life of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You don't have to be the greatest scholar and know all these different decisions from Fiqh in order to have the ultimate success. But what you have to have, my training says that the cleansiness of the heart is what is necessary for success. So the way you deal with other people, this is bigger than how much you know in fact in data. You see? But what is in your heart? How do you deal with the people from your heart rather than the people you deal with them from your head? It's always easy to tell somebody a hadith, and I appreciate it if nobody sends me these things in my phone. I don't need you to do that. I spent 10 years sitting next to the ulama. Many times you're sending me information from somebody, bad manners. I don't know that person. I never talked to him. Sometimes I can't even pronounce his name. I don't know who he is or nothing. Just because he's talking in Arabic, some Arabic hadith or something. I'm not impressed with that. I don't need that. So please don't send me that stuff, okay? Allahumma salli wa salam mubarak Allah Sayyidina Muhammad. Okay, I'm going to go to the fiqh so that I will leave you enough time, inshallah, to ask something if you need it from me. Allahumma salli wa salam mubarak Allah Sayyidina Muhammad. So I talked to you about fards of wudu. I'm going to go over this part because I don't remember exactly what was the last statement. So I said to wash the face is fard, from the hairline to the end of the chin or beard. To wash the arms up to the elbows once is the fard. When washing arms, hands must be included. I said to wipe over the head once. Once is fard, like this, from the front to the back. That's fard. To the end of the nape of the neck. In other words, you're not gonna include the neck in the wiping. That's makruh. To wipe both feet. Once is fard. First the right, then the left. So these above things are obligatory in ablution. Without them, there is no ablution. So I'm teaching this subject for like Allah, only Allah knows how many times. And always I get a feedback that some people are saying, Shaykh Ameen said, you only have to wipe one time to have wudu. That's not what Shaykh Ameen said. What Shaykh Ameen is telling you is that the fard of the wudu is the one wiping. The fard of the wudu is one wiping. But if you have the ability, you should wipe the sunnah and the mustahab wipings too. So fiqh is the people of the Shara Sagriya, Imam Malik Rahmatu alayhi, when he gave the information to people, he gave it systematically to allow them to be able to remember the lessons. Like the same way when you go to college and things are put in segments to help you to be able to analyze and memorize. Well, fiqh is like that too. It's a legal subject. So what they do is they break down the terminologies so that the people could actually follow what is necessary. So in this case, what is necessary, of course, is what is obligatory. But to make it accurate, we also have to try and do what is sunnah. And to get the full reward, we should also do what is mustahab. So right now I'm only covering, like in the Quran, when it talks about wudu, it doesn't talk about the mouth and the nose and the ears. It talks about the arms, the face, the arms, the head, and the feet. That's what it talks about. See? Assalamu alaikum, Adama. I'm on the computer giving lesson. You okay? I'm sorry, excuse me, class. I didn't realize that you were gonna come right away. I was gonna have you take me also to the bank. Okay, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, so Adama is one of my students, and he's like my son. That when he came to this country from Africa, he came to me to learn fiqh, and I have never seen anyone who came to America and learned the English language as quickly as Adama. Never. Okay. So, you know, the lessons I teach the people, it has no color. It has no nationality. You know, I've had students from every type of nationality. And some of them have become my lifelong people, as I expect for you. This is why I would prefer that we could do these lessons, inshallah, in person. So I know who I'm talking to, person to person. See? Anyway, I told you this. I told you the fard. That without these, there is no ablution. It says that if there is some doubt in your mind about your wudu, you should perform another one. Because in Islam, doubt means you don't know, you don't have. That's what it means. We are supposed to be always very positive, especially regarding our ibadah. That's why, like, let's say you don't remember where you are in prayer. You shouldn't just ignore it. Actually, what you have to do is you have to fix it. so that after you fix it, from then on, in that prayer, you know exactly where you are. So the positive intention is what we are searching for always in everything. They say that what is halal is well known. What is haram is well known. And what is doubtful, you should leave it to save your religion. So when there's some doubt about your practice in your mind, you have to fix it. You can't just leave it like people do in general in their life and other things. Okay. We know that Bismillah, in the name of Allah, should be said at the beginning of wudu. And as I explained to you, some different scholars and scientists in Islam say you should say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, which we don't disagree. That's okay. But what we do know is that all of them say at least you should say Bismillah. We say that wudu should be made in a continuous but moderate pace. In other words, don't try to rush through, making your wudu. You should make it in a moderate pace. And once you start, you can't start making wudu and then say, oh, I forgot. Let me go over here and turn this off over here, or take a sip of my coffee, and then think that you're still in wudu. When you change your niyyah, your yani, when you just are distracted from what you're doing, you're not doing that anymore. So when you come back, you would have to start all over again. Allahumma salli wa sallam mubarak ala sayyidina Muhammad. The washing should be continuous and at a moderate pace. But if you leave it undone intentionally for no valid reason, you don't have a wudu. You must make a new one. The sunnahs, one other thing. I meant to tell you this from the beginning of this subject. Wudu means that you rub. It doesn't mean that you have to have a lot of water. You can take a small amount of water, which is sunnah, and you can rub that small amount of water, and you would have an excellent wudu. See, because in fact, using a small amount of water is a mustahab, and rubbing is a big sunnah. You can't have wudu the same way you have ghusl, that you use an extra amount of water so that the water touches all of the parts of your body. Well, wudu is different. You have to make sure you rub the small amount of water all over your parts of your body that require wudu. So using small amount of water and rubbing those parts that are for wudu are necessary things that help you to gain a better position with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and strengthen your prayers and your actions that require wudu. Okay. Now, to wash the hands, the right and then the left 3 times, is sunnah. So first the right hand 3 times, then the left hand 3 times. So we're on the web page here, And so my explanations to you regarding this, any of my students from the past who came to, because I don't do this normally, but whoever comes to sit with me, they will find that I will take a long time explaining these things in detail, so that when I explain washing of hands, I explain it in a way that by the time we finish, you know exactly what is required of you to consider that you have made an excellent wudu. See, I don't give you the short version. I give you always the long version. But on this web page, I guess you can hear the way I speak. I could be talking to you about Islam for hours. My teacher used to say that we couldn't defeat him in our discussions on Islam. And he used to actually get a kick out of us trying to get him tired and to defeat him, that he couldn't answer and these type of things. So I learned a lot about human nature from him, that he thought it was comical for us to even try that. Okay, anyway, inshallah, it says to wash the mouth 3 times. The first wash in your mouth is sunnah. The next 2 are what's called mustahab. So as you can see, fiqh is broken down into values. The fard, the obligatory, is of the highest value. The sunnah practices are on the next level of value. And then you have the mustahab, which are valuable as well, but not as valuable as the mustahab are the things that you do, we would consider like extra. We would say the mustahab represents what you do that is extra. But in fact, in the practice of Islam, we are advised that if the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to do it, and there's nothing that would not enable us to be able to do it, we should do it too. Okay. To take water in the nose and blow it out 3 times. The first time is sunnah, and the other 2 times are mustahab. To wash the ears inside and out, inserting your index finger inside once is enough. Once is enough. We don't do many times of that in the madhab of Imam Malik. Once is enough. The second wiping over the head from the back, coming back to the front, is sunnah. The second wiping over the head from back to the front is sunnah. So I told you, the first wiping is fard. The second wiping is sunnah. So when I first became a Muslim, before I was able to, before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enabled me to meet up with Dr. Suleiman Dunya and remain with him, I used to follow the way of that the people were doing. And they were wiping 3 times like that in wudu over the head. And I actually, thought that was the way wudu should be made, until Dr. Dunya showed me the way that Imam Malik rahmatullahi alayhi say was the way of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So these are the things that I always try to tell you about history. You have to know the history of things, especially in order to appreciate them better. The history of things is of extreme importance. But because if you don't know the history and you just do what you see the people do, for the most part, you're going to make a big mistake, because the people themselves do not represent what is Islam. My teacher emphasized that to me so many times. Don't care about what the people would say. You have to learn Islam and then follow what you learn. Okay. Allahumma salli wa salam wa barak ala Sayyidina Muhammad. You wash the hands from the fingertips and you wash the feet from the toes. You wash the hands from the fingertips and you wash the feet from the toes. A sunnah cannot substitute for a fard. Be real clear about that. A sunnah cannot substitute for a fard. I don't care what no people say. I don't care what the people do. Be sure about this. A sunnah cannot be a substitute for a fard. To rub between the toes is mustahab. To rub between the toes is mustahab. In this madhab, they used to, in history, some scholars during the time of Imam Malik rahmatullahi alayhi tried to make an argument with him that, he didn't emphasize rubbing between the toes. And, they made such a mistake that he say, well, if you do it one time when you're washing your feet, that would be enough. So when the jurists looked at it, they gave it a position. They called it mustahab. One time in the ears is enough. There's two stick, what we call mishwak, has 36 benefits for the body. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the two stick has 36 good things that it does for the body. And so we should use it. They never talked about in books of fiqh what are some of the good things that this mishwak is said to be from those 36. So this is one of those things in which our faith in whatever the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is what we are going to do. He didn't give us any specifics on what these 36 things are that are of value to us. But he told us to do it. And the Sahaba say he talked about us doing that so much that they thought he was going to make it fard. But in fact, the jurists say it is mustahab. Something that we should try and follow this direction of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But if you don't do it, it doesn't take away your wudu. Okay. A fresh new wudu should be made for each prayer that is done in the masjid. So this thing is a sunnah to do it. But if you already have wudu and you don't go and make a new one because you get ready to make a new prayer in the masjid, it doesn't devalue your prayer. It doesn't devalue your prayer. But if you don't take care of your wudu and you know you need it, that devalues your prayer. You won't have a prayer. Okay. Then we have what's called makruh, things that are frowned upon for wudu. Makruh, things that are frowned upon. You should not use more water than you need. The water should not run onto the floor or over the sides of the sink So once I asked my teacher, I said, what is too much water? So he gave me an exact answer by saying, if you can hear the water going shh, 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 you're using too much water. So many of the masjids that I have gone to in the past, when you push the thing for water, that's exactly what it does. It comes out shh, 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 like that sound, meaning that you're using too much water. So whoever was the constructor, whoever constructed this, did not understand fiqh, because if they did, they wouldn't have it so that whenever you use the water, it's programmed to come rushing out so much water. Maybe, I'm sure you don't realize what it's like to, to see the things that should be different than they are. And, you can't really, nobody wants to have to fight with the administrations and these different peoples for everything all the time. So you pick the things that must be corrected in order for us to continue to say that we're the Muslims, and the things that, the other things you leave it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But I always feel sorry that, for my brothers and sisters, that they may not know something and are doing something that, if they knew better, they could benefit themselves better. Okay. When you are making wudu, you should not speak with anyone. But you may make some type of dua if you are in a clean place making wudu. Habib, should I leave room now for the questions, or should I continue?
I think you can go a little bit longer, Shaykh.
I can go a little longer?
Yes, inshallah.
Good. Okay. Allahumma salli wa salam mubarak ala Sayyidina Muhammad. So, as you can see, I was trained to be used by the people, that I take whatever you say to me as very meaningful, and I try to assist you as you need. The only time you will find me not being pleasant and try to assist you is if I have to use the bathroom. I'm allowed to stop you. If I have to eat, I'm allowed to stop you. And if I have to go to work or get sleep, I'm allowed to stop you. Other than that, my teacher used to say that people have the right to grab you like this by your collar and drag you out, make you sit, and take whatever they can take from you, as much as they could take. Allahumma salli wa salam mubarak ala Sayyidina Muhammad. So you should always wash the right amount of times that is required. Don't wash, sometimes, people are making wudu when they should be making ghusl, probably because they're washing like crazy. So many more times than is necessary. This is makruh. And you have people that come into the hammam, where you make wudu, they're coming in and they're saying all kinds of talking and, trying to get you to talk back to them while you making wudu. So many of these people think that, they have the right to do that. So now you're learning the Fiqh of Imam Malik rahmatu alayhi, that those people are making a mistake. Don't do what they do. Do what you learn. Don't follow what the people do. If you follow what the people do, you're going to be lost and make a lot of mistakes. They're not the criteria. Do what you learn. Okay? Allahumma salli wa salam wa barak ala Sayyidina Muhammad. You should always keep covered the private parts when making ablution. If you are by yourself or with your wife, when you make wudu and your private parts are uncovered, it is makruh. So the reason they say they use the wife or by yourself is so that you really understand the magnitude of being uncovered while you're making wudu, your private parts. This is a very, very bad position to put yourself in while you're making wudu if you have the ability to find something to cover yourself. They say the wife because of all the people in the world who can see you without a covering and not consider it haram is your wife. If some other people see you like that, it's haram, absolutely, positively haram and a sin, and you will have some reaction from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when we meet him about that thing. So you don't want other people, to put you in that bad position or put yourself in that bad position. So always make sure that you keep yourself covered when you make wudu. Some ulama say, even when you're alone, don't walk around in your home alone in nude or expose your private parts. That this is very much disliked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you should try and follow that direction and keep yourself covered, especially doing things that have to do with ibadah and in general. Okay. You should not, it's makruh to wipe the neck after the head as a separate wiping. So initially, in my early days, I saw in these prayer books, these little pamphlets for teach you how to make wudu, and I watched the people, and they used to go over their head, and then they used to take their hands, and they used to put their hands on their neck and wipe the neck. See? This is makruh. They are the people who were teaching the people to do like that were increasing their problem with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by teaching something that was not true. Teaching something that they didn't know. And this is why I always tell the students, learn your lessons well, because if you teach somebody how to do something that's not true and not good, then they will teach somebody to do that same thing, and on and on and on. And when we meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he says, this thing was no good to do, who was this orchestrator? Yani, where did it come from? And it will all come back to that first person who taught other people how to do that thing. And you will be responsible for all the sin that's involved by all the people that took this information and used that as if it was good. Okay. So you should not wipe the neck after the head as a separate wiping. Okay, Habib, I should stop now?
Yes, Shaykh.
Okay, as you like.
So, inshallah, to anybody who joined late, please type your questions in the chat. Now we're going to take a few questions, inshallah. The first question, someone is asking, is the basmala and continuity in the wudu, are those fard?
Bismillah is not fard in the way that if you don't say it, it will cancel your wudu. No, it's not thought in that way. If you think Bismillah, that's enough. You don't have to say Bismillah. See, but intention-wise, to strengthen your action, you should in fact be positive that I said Bismillah. Don't leave it as if it's meaningless. So if you don't say it, it doesn't cancel your wudu, but you should say it. You should at least think it in your mind, Bismillah.
Mm-hmm. And he also asked,
wait. Some scholars say Bismillah is taken because of the action you're doing. Like a person who thinks, I'm going to make wudu because it's time for dhuhr, it will be as if they're saying Bismillah because of the time that they're making the wudu, the thought in the mind, what they're making the wudu for, and these type of things, it equals to Bismillah. But some other scholars say, no, you have to literally, even if you say it to yourself, you have to literally say it, Bismillah. It's not enough just because, you're making wudu when it's your time. So, okay, I'm sorry, Habib.
No, I'm sorry, Shaykh. The other part of this question, he asked about continuity, which I know you're going to get to in the book, but he's asking, is continuity a fard in wudu?
Well, no, but the things I told you were farded, those are the things that's farded. The things you're asking me about now, those are things that are sunnah. So it's not farded to make this continuous wiping, but if you want to keep your wudu, you can't stop your wudu in the middle and then go and do something else and then come back and think that you still have the wudu that you was making before you stopped and went and did something else. That's the main point. It's not its value, whether it's fard, sunnah, or mustahab. The problem with that is if you don't do it continuously, you're going to lose the wudu. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, sir. And for the question is if you want to ask a follow-up question, or if you don't fully understand the answer, then you can ask your follow-up question.
Absolutely. I will sit here as long as you need me to until it stops telling me my time is up.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Or I got to make my prayer.
Alhamdulillah. The next question is from Brother Frank. He's asking about zakat.
That's a good question.
He's saying, is the zakat? Say again?
I know the question. So say the whole question so other people can benefit.
Yes, he's asking, is the zakat only to be given to Muslims, or can it be given to non-Muslims as well?
Allahumma salli wa sallam mubarak Allah Sayyidina Muhammad. The zakat is different than sadaqah, yani charity. Zakat is different. Zakat actually is meant for Islamic use only. Like the scholars think that they say that zakat has to be given to whoever is in charge of Islam. It doesn't mean only like if the Amirul Mu'mineen is in Iraq, that people in America have to get their zakat to him in Iraq. No, what they're saying is in your area where you are, whoever is the representative for the Islamic society of people, like in the masjids that everybody uses and like that, then they are the ones who are deserving for you to give zakat. It's like the zakat is given to the governmental type officials in Islam. See, it shouldn't be. Some people used to always say, well, you can give zakat to any poor person. Well, that's not what zakat is for. That's what charity is for. Zakat is for the use, for the benefit of Islamic things, like the masjid that has an Islamic school. In the winter, they have to have heat. So if you pay zakat, the zakat can be used to get heat for the children in the school. Let's say that the family, some families have no way of buying groceries. So you pay zakat to the Islamic governing agencies who look after the affairs of the Muslims, like in the big masjids and things like that. When you pay them zakat, they will have some people use some money from the zakat to make sure those families have food. See? So what the people usually do is they mix up what is zakat and what is sadaqah. Umar Katabi declared war on the people who didn't pay zakat. It wasn't nothing. You couldn't tell him nothing. It's the zakat belongs to the Amir to administer to the needs of the Muslims. See? So my advice is that to keep yourself in the right direction, pay your zakat to the Muslims that are in charge of the affairs of the Muslims, you know, and they will in fact put it in the right place. Okay, as you like.
Yeah, and Brother Frank is asking a follow-up question: how do we give zakat during this time of this COVID virus? And I can also take Brother Frank off mute if you want him to ask this question verbally.
No, it's okay. I can talk directly from your. I understand the question very well. You know, something that people have to understand. In this Islam, there is no new question. It's like whatever you ask, you know, at least, you know, according to the scholars, it's probably already been asked since the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yeah. So it's very true that this situation we're in our life today is unique. I don't remember a worldwide plague like this ever in history. They've had it in different areas, but not like this. That goes all over the world. So, you know, I would tell you that to pay your zakat, if you can mail it, if you can call the imam and he can have an agent to come and retrieve the zakat monies, this is more of their responsibility than it is the general person. See, what they're supposed to do is they're supposed to develop a method that the people can get zakat to them. That's their responsibility. They can't blame you not to get yourself killed so you can get zakat to them. See? So, you know, this is something that, once again, I got to be the bad guy because somebody have to let them know, you know, if you want the people to pay zakat, you have to make it available for them to be able to do it. You have to make a way that, you know, it can get done and they can still be safe. So, okay, I hope I answered the question.
Inshallah. Yeah. And a sister is asking, if a sister is performing wudu at work in a public restroom used by non-Muslim female co-workers, can she wipe over her head without removing a khimar, asked to not expose her hair to those non-Muslim
No,
females.
listen to me. Listen to me. My sisters in Islam, I think that this country, that Islam will not survive without you. I think that my teacher used to keep pressing this in my mind. The education of women in this society may be bigger than the need of the education of the man. See? So, once again, when you're going to make wudu, if you have to make it outside, and you know, if it's just women, you can take your headpiece and you know, adjust it, whatever you have to do. But in general, you can take your hands, put them from the back underneath your headpiece. You're not going to use so much water that is going to make your headpiece wet for the rest of the day. You just want to just enough to go over your head from the back, come to the back, and then go back to the front and take your hands out again. So I don't know if that's the question they're asking, but I can tell you once again, Islam needs you to survive in America. See? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does as he please. But the ulama tell me that when you need something done for Islam, you would be intelligent to have the women to help you get it done. Because if you're waiting for the men to get it done, you may be waiting for the rest of your life. See? Only very few men will actually not procrastinate. See? Most of the men are going to procrastinate on something that is not going to put money in their pocket. The women, they will do it. The love that they have for Islam will have them do it for free, faster than a man does it for money. How about that? So, my Muslim sisters, don't let anyone stop you. Don't let anyone stop you from being educated. Education for you is a must for our survival. And don't just, when I say get educated, I mean don't just read a book or take your information from the neighborhood grocery store guy or something. No. Take your information from true scholars. And it's preferable that you take the information from true scholars that you know about. See? Dr. Dunya used to tell me, that's before this computers and the internet, and everybody's got a message that they sending from all over the world, and sometimes, most of the time, the Arabic-speaking guys, they got some writing at the bottom that tells you what he's saying. They asked Dr. Dunya to be the Imam of the Muslims here. You know, Dr. Dunya refused the Muslims here. He said, but your Imam should be somebody from among your people. Not only that, but, you know, it should be somebody who speaks your language fluently enough that he can adjust the knowledge to the ability of the people he's talking to. So we still haven't learned our lessons well in regards to that. Because the people, they're mesmerized by everybody except their own. It's almost as if they think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is limited and that he can't give knowledge to whoever he wants to. So, we have to, like kind of take a look at ourselves. Brothers, they don't even like a lot of times for their wife to become educated. Because then they got to think, oh, here she comes. She's going to try to tell me that I don't know something, or that I should maybe take a different look at it or something, because they don't really want their wife to become so smart, because it would make them have to work harder. See, I want you to understand me real clear. For me, I'm on the side of the sister, because I'm a brother and I see what the brothers do. See, I see what they do. They got some brothers that want to fight me. They want to fight me because I say something that they don't want to hear. My teacher used to tell me in the day, every day, he would look at me and say, "Okay, time for you to go practice." I go, "Now, Dr. Nisha, go out in the backyard. Time for you to practice." I would go in the backyard and I'd start practicing. And then I would look up and he would be watching me from his window to make sure that I went out and did what I was supposed to do. So when I would come back in, I'd say, "But Doctor, I've been practicing this for like 20 years. I got to practice every day." He said, "Because that's what's going to allow you to speak for Islam and not be afraid." I didn't appreciate it then, but I appreciate it now. See? So it became a part of the faith that if you practice your martial arts, it gives you the feeling that nobody's going to be able to shut you down, except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you practice hard, and it helps to increase your faith. Okay. As you like, Habib.
Alhamdulillah. Next question was regarding wudu. A brother is asking, basically he's asking about making the wudu in the shower. He was saying when you take the shower, we take the shower.
Okay, I understand the question.
I know you do, Shaykh.
Yeah. So listen to me, brother. If you're gonna make a ghusl, actually the procedure for ghusl is before you go into the water for ghusl, you make one wiping of wudu, of the places of wudu. Then you go into the abundance of water, and you make the ghusl. But let's say you didn't do the wudu, the one wiping before you went in for the ghusl. When you make the ghusl, it's bigger than the wudu. So you don't have to worry about the wudu if you're making the ghusl. Don't make more steps than you need. Don't worry about something that once you accomplish the ghusl, you've accomplished all you need to be able to do all of your ibadah. I hope you understand my question, my answer. Okay, Happy.
Okay. And so that person, if they're gonna take a ghusl, they should clean their private part, then do one wiping of wudu, then remove the towel, and then jump in the shower.
Absolutely. So okay. let's say, Yani, they don't do all of that before they remove the towel and jump in the ghusl. You can just jump in the ghusl and make sure that water touches each part of your body at least one time, and you can consider that you have purity.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Shaykh. And I think this might be the last question. I got kicked off and came back in, so I don't. So, Sidi Ishaq, you can let me know if I missed any good questions. But a sister's asking. She asked, how many sunnah prayers or sunnah rak'ah are connected to the Maghrib Salah?
Say it again.
Yes, how many sunnah rak'ah are there for Maghrib.
How many nafils? Because in the madhab Imam
Yeah.
Malik, we call everything that's not fard nafils in regards to prayer. So in the madhab Imam Malik rahmatu alayh, there is no nafil before Maghrib. There are 3 nafil after Maghrib instead of 2. So that would be 2, 4, 6 nafil rakats. In between each 2, there's a salam, and then you stand, you make the 2 more, and you make salam, and then you make 2 more. That's the method in the madhab Imam Malik rahmatullahi alayh. So I have been categorizing the information and how it's accepted, and I really understand the need more now than I did before, because before, like the people who come out just to my class are generally people who have some form of learning from Islam, and they're looking for some specific knowledge, like so from the madhab or something. So they will keep coming, and so I don't get a real understanding of generally what's going on. These classes show me the need from a general perspective, and especially for women. So I would say, the responsibility from the Muslim Brotherhood is that we have to make and develop more ways. My brother that I love so much, his name, Imam Ahmed Abdul Salam. You have to start to utilize people like him. You see? Because his history, like my history, is well known. It's not guesswork. Is he qualified? Not guesswork. We all know his history. See? So it doesn't matter what nobody thinks. It only matters that he followed the right procedure to be qualified to help the people. I don't know if you really understand me or not, but in fact, my teacher used to say, in order for him to be able to be our leader, he would have to be from among us. And he would tell me, no place in the world is the leader of the Muslims in a place that is not from them. So we have to break this shackle. The brothers who are putting in their work, they did their part. Don't include me when you start thinking about this, because my time is just about up. I'm not volunteering myself for none of this stuff. But Ahmed is a young guy, and he's done all the things to qualify himself. Take advantage of him. Let him help the people. As he gets older, he's going to be even better. See? So, and then they have others. She's not the only one. They have others. Even among my students. A lot of my students, if the people would just give them the proper respect, they could help the people. Okay. I've done my duty, I think. I did my best. So I hope that, Yani, inshallah, that it helps. Because all I'm about is what helps Islam to establish itself in the right way here. I'm not even worried about Afghanistan, Pakistan. I'm not worried about none of that. I'm worried about the establishment of proper Islam in America. See, because we've had so much crap that people pushed and said it was the Islamic way. Not until I started to learn from professors, that's not the Islamic way. That's something else. Okay, is that it, Habib?
Sound like a Sheikh. There's one more question, but I think
as you like.
well, it might be kind of a long answer. Somebody's basically just asking what was Imam Malik rahmatullah's opinion about how to tell when you start fasting for Ramadan.
How to do what?
How to tell when Ramadan begins. When to
the
start
same way, Imam Malik's method, it's the same way as most of the madhab. In the madhabs, it says that if the new moon is sighted in any place where they have people who are adl. Adl means that they tell the truth. If they don't know something, they'll say, I don't know. They're what's called adl. And these people, if you can have a communication with them, any place that they are, and they say the moon has been sighted, then we consider that the moon has been sighted. They have another perspective in Islam that says you should see it visually wherever you are. So that means that some people actually go up on the roof at the time of when it's around the time that we know Ramadan should be starting, and every night they go up there and they have their glasses and they look to see if they see the new moon. Well, in the madhab Imam Malik rahmatullahi alayhi, that's not the right way. That's and even after the lessons came to people, and I tried to explain it to some brothers and sisters, they had already developed this system that they don't listen, so they gonna do it their way, and they always found that they were a day later starting Ramadan than the other people who took the advice from the ulama regarding if it's cited any place in the Islamic world. So my teaching is that it was a joke that they do that because nowadays we have communication that can be instantaneous. When the new moon was sighted, I had people from Egypt, from Somalia, from Dubai, Senegal. People was like, Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh, the moon was sighted. So, why would I go up on the roof with my spyglasses to see that if you could follow the way of Imam Malik rahmatullahi alayhi and many of the other scholars and jurists that say if it's cited any place and you trust them, they're idle people, then we should say when we get that information, Ramadan has begun. Did you understand?
No. Yeah. No. Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Shaykh. Inshallah, I think that's all we're gonna have time for today. But Jazakumullah khair, thank you so much. May Allah reward you. May Allah increase you. May Allah give you long life and good health, and bless us to continue to benefit from you, to take advantage from these classes. And again, for anybody who wasn't listening, I'll reiterate: when all of this coronavirus stuff is over, I encourage everybody who's able, please go visit, spend some time with Shaykh Ameen in person. If you're able to come and learn from him in person, that's the right way. If you
I don't charge money. I won't charge you any money. Don't worry about that. But if you're gonna come and visit me for education in Islam, I'm very serious about that. And I don't play jokes. It's like if you come for education, sometimes people want to come to debate with me. Don't play that game with somebody else. If you are not qualified, by, like some papers that say that you are qualified to do that, I will know that you're not qualified because the qualified people would not even do something like that. That's just bad. There's no place in Islam to try to fight with somebody who spent their whole life doing Islamic work. Just no place in Islam for that. Just like there's no place in Islam for prejudice and bias. So you should look in the mirror and start to question yourself. What am I doing? So if you come to learn, I'm more than happy to work with you. I won't charge you any money. And anybody who studies with me, they can tell you I listen to their problems. I try to help them, give them good information, you know. But, you know, I just don't have time anymore for the games. If you're going to play those games, play it someplace else. Okay, thank you, Habib, for a good compliment. And inshallah, I hope to be able to help the people.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah khair. And for the people who live out of state, even if you're able to come just visit Shaykh Ameen, you know, some of the brothers that we had studying with us down in Philly, they were able to come up and at least visit. So at least, you know, this is something I would encourage people to do. And I'm going to turn the floor over to Sidi Ishaq to see if there's any announcements before we ask the Shaykh to make a dua to close us out, inshallah.
Thank you.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. We want to thank Shaykh Ameen. One of the luminaries of our time. And we also want to thank the people for attending and being consistent in your attendance. It helps us to know that others find this needed, and it helps us to do more things. Also, there are a number of other classes that our community is having as well. If you want to be on those distribution lists, you can speak to Habib Rasul, or you can speak to myself about being on those lists. We don't want to take any more time. Again, thank you, Shaykh Ameen. And may Allah increase you, may Allah bless you, may Allah reward you.
Ameen, ameen.
And may Allah accept all of your works.
Ameen.
Bismillah, Habib.
I don't have nothing else to say, but Shaykh, can you please make dua for us, inshallah?
So, according to some reports, whenever the Muslims were in difficulty, they used to read the dua of Qanut. Right now, the world is in difficulty. Allahumma inni as'aluka min kulli khayrin salaka minhu Muhammadan nabiyyuka sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Wa a'udhu bika min kulli sharrin istataka minhu Muhammadan nabiyyuka sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma aghfir lana ma qadamna wa ma karna wa ma asrarna wa ma lana wa ma anta alimu bihi min nar rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar. اللهم إني أعوذ بك من الماء وممات ومن فتنة القبر ومن فتنة المسيح الدجال ومن عذاب النار وسوء المصير. اللهم إني أسألك من كل خير صالح منه محمد نبيك صلى الله عليه وسلم. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us all the good things that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam asked for from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وأعوذ بك من كل شر استعاذك منه محمد نبيك صلى الله عليه وسلم, and to protect us from all of the bad things that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us from. Good things are the things that lead to things are the things that lead to the fire. Thank you for visiting me. I hope to see you the next time. And try to put the things you learn into your life so that it helps to clean your heart. Because the end result is what's in the heart, not just how many hadith you know, how many decisions of fiqh you know. In any case, thank you again for visiting me, and I hope to see you again soon. Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakumullah khair, ya Shaykh, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.